Good morning, students. Welcome to today's class. Uh, Hope you all have got the unit test portion. Again, I am telling you once again the first three chapter matter, physical and chemical changes, and element, compound, and mixture. These three chapters will be there in unit test portion, and you start revising these chapters. Today we are going to start a new chapter, chapter 5, but at the same time, along with this chapter, we will be doing the revision of the unit test portion also. Okay, so let's start. Language of chemistry. This is chapter 5. So first of all, we will be doing a quick recapitulation of the symbols of elements. We know symbol is the abbreviation of the full name of an element. Everywhere we cannot write the full name of the element, so we have to use the symbol, and generally the first letter of the element we take as symbol of the element. Like for hydrogen, hydrogen starts with the letter H, so H will be the symbol of hydrogen. For oxygen also, same thing, O is the symbol of oxygen. With the symbols of elements, we represent one atom of element. These are one atom of each of the element. Like by H we are representing one hydrogen atom, by O we are representing one oxygen atom. The same manner for nitrogen, N is the symbol. This is one atom of nitrogen. Carbon also the same manner, C is the symbol for carbon. Now see, there two or more elements are there which are having same which starts with the same letter. Like for nitrogen, it starts with N. At the same time, neon, this also starts with N. So what will be the symbol for neon? Here, as we have taken the first letter for nitrogen already, so the first two letter we will be taking for neon as symbol, and here the second letter will be small. Okay, so Ne is the symbol for neon. Okay, next, as carbon, for carbon we have taken already the symbol C. Okay, and we are having calcium which starts with C. Okay, like carbon only. So here we will be taking calcium, Ca, the first two letter, the symbol for calcium. Will be the symbol for chlorine. It starts with C. Already we have taken the first letter for carbon. So is the symbol of chlorine will be Ch? No. Here instead of H we will be taking the letter L. Okay, as when we utter the word chlorine, L is having the it's having more prominent sound. It comes with after carbon we are getting the letter L. Okay, we are putting more stress on the letter L. So chlorine symbol will be Cl, capital C and small l. This is the symbol for chlorine. Now for few elements we use the Latin name of their the Latin names, and from the Latin names we will be getting the symbol. Okay, like for sodium, natrium is the Latin name for sodium. So for sodium the symbol of sodium will be Na. Okay, not S and all. Okay, so in the same manner for lead's Latin name is plumbum. So Pb will be the symbol for lead. Like this, iron, ferrum. So Fe is the Latin name of iron. So ferrum, Fe, from that ferrum is the Latin name of iron. So Fe is the symbol for iron. Okay, in this manner, copper also, cuprum is the Latin name of copper. So Cu is the symbol of copper. So in this manner, few more examples are there. Here we have to memorize at least, we have to learn at least the first 30 letters, first 30 elements, symbol of first 30 elements and their names. Okay, and at the same time we'll be getting in the study material also, or those who have got the book, they can get the symbols and the most or commonly used elements which we require, the symbols of them also we have to learn, we have to memorize. Okay, now next come to the valency. Valency is the combining capacity of any element. So with another element, uh, with how many other elements one element is combining, through that we will be representing the valency of that element. Suppose for hydrogen, if we see the formula of formula of the compounds, where hydrogen is there, like HCl, hydrogen fluoride, okay, or HF, hydrogen fluoride, like this. So here one hydrogen is combining with one chlorine like this. So hydrogen's valency will be 1, as one hydrogen can at a time, one hydrogen can combine with one element only. So hydrogen's valency will be 1. Like this, as chlorine, here chlorine is combining with one hydrogen, so chlorine's valency is also 1. Here fluorine's valency is also 1. So like this we will be representing the valency of the elements. Next, oxygen. Suppose a very common compound of oxygen, H2O, water. Okay, here you can see with one oxygen atom, two hydrogen atoms can attach at a time. They can form bond at a time. So this is the structure for water. Here you can see with one oxygen, two hydrogens are forming bond at a time. So oxygen's valency of oxygen will be 2, as oxygen is combining with two hydrogen atoms, two atoms at a time. If we take the example of ammonia, NH3, structure of ammonia can be given as this. Okay, see, with here nitrogen is combining with 3 hydrogen atoms at a time. So nitrogen's valency will be 3. If we see this compound methane, CH4, okay, the structure of methane is like this. It's forming a tetrahedral structure. So at a time, one carbon atom can attach with 4 hydrogen atoms. See, 4 hydrogen atoms are there. So carbon's valency will be 4. So like this, we represent the valency of the elements. Now valency of elements, this is due to attain stable electronic structure or electronic configuration. The elements, those who are not having stable electronic configuration, they will react with other elements and they will form the compound, and in this manner they will attain stable electronic configuration. So this is all about to attain the stability of the elements. Now the elements which are already stable, like noble gases, noble gas elements like helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon and radon. Okay, they are already having stable electronic configuration. We know the helium is having the first shell, it's having 2 electrons. For neon this is 2,8, which is a stable structure. For argon this is 2,8,8, like this. So all these noble gases, they are already having stable electronic configuration, so they will not react anymore with any other elements. Then as already they are stable, so they will not react with other elements. Okay, so for them, for noble gas elements, valency will be 0. Okay, 0 valency, they are having 0 valency. In normal conditions, they will not react with any other element, so their valency will be taken as 0. For other elements also, we can from their structure we can get the valency of the elements. Like if we take some example, it will be easy to understand. Suppose for hydrogen, as hydrogen's in the structure of hydrogen, we will see in the K shell, in the first shell, hydrogen is having only 1 electron, but the stable structure is K is equal to 2. Okay, this is the structure for helium. This is the stable structure. Okay, so to attain stability, hydrogen must have either 2 electron in its shell, otherwise no electron in the shell. Okay, so here hydrogen, generally hydrogen choose to lose this electron to form a positive ion. Okay, as electron is a negatively charged particle, so when an element is losing that electron, negatively charged particle, so it will form a positive ion. Okay, this is a positive ion, positive, it's a positive ion. Okay, hydrogen can form, it can capture 1 electron to form H minus also. This is called hydride. Okay, but generally in most of the cases we will be seeing that hydrogen is forming the positive ion. So hydrogen can show both positive and negative. Okay, now for sodium, suppose if we see the structure of sodium, this is 281, 11 electrons are there. So this is the electronic arrangement for sodium. To attain stable structure for sodium, it will be K is equal to 2, L is equal to 8, M is equal to 8. Okay, so either sodium can have 7 more electron to have in the last shell to have 8 electrons, which is stable, but that is quite difficult. So sodium will lose this extra electron which is there in the third shell, in the last shell, and it will attain then the stable structure of 2, 8. Okay, in the first shell 2 electron, in the second shell 8 electron. So hydrogen will so sodium will be doing that only. Sodium will lose this extra electron which is there in the last shell. This shell is called the valence shell also, and this electron is called the valence electron. So sodium will form Na plus. Now the structure will be, electronic structure will be 2, 8. Okay, this is also a positive ion. So as sodium is losing 1 electron, so its valency will be 1. So in this manner, by getting the structure of their atoms, we can calculate, we can determine, we can get the valency of the elements. Now we will be doing a negative ion. Let's see how the negative ions forms. Suppose for oxygen's number of electron is total 6 electrons are there. Total 8 electrons are there. So in the first shell 2, in the second shell 6 electron. But the stable structure is 2,8. So it's easy for oxygen to capture 2 more electron to attain this structure, stable structure. So oxygen will be doing that only. Oxygen will capture 2 more electron and it will form O2 minus, which is a negative ion. Okay, and this is called anion. The positive ions are called cation and the negative ions are called anion. This already you have done in the previous classes. So this is okay. For chlorine also we will be getting the same. So here, as oxygen is capturing 2 electron, so 2 will be the valency of oxygen, and from the structure of water also we have seen the same valency of oxygen. Now chlorine structure is 287. Chlorine is having 17 electrons. So in the last shell it's having 7 electron. So to attain stability, stable electronic structure, that is 288. Okay, so to attain this stable structure, chlorine will capture 1 more electron to form Cl minus. Now the structure for Cl minus, the electronic configuration for Cl minus is 288, which is this matches with the stable structure of argon. Okay, argon is the noble gas which is having a stable structure. So chlorine is now having the stable structure of argon. Okay, and here oxygens, this is 2,8. This matches with neon. Okay, stable structure of neon, and this is the stable structure of argon. Okay. So as chlorine is capturing 1 electron only, so its valency will be 1. So in this manner, for other elements also we can calculate the valency. There are certain elements which will show more than one valency. So for them, we will call it as variable valency, the valency which can vary. For copper can show valency 1 and valency 2. Both are possible. So the lowest valency we will be calling as As, and the highest valency we will be calling as Ek. Okay, so copper 1, where copper is showing 1 valency, copper plus, okay, Cu plus, and this is copper 2 plus. Okay, so this we will be writing as Q plus. So copper 1 we will be calling as Q plus. This As is for the lowest valency, as copper is having the lowest valency 1, so Q plus, and this will be Q prick. Q prick. This Ek is for the highest valency for copper. For in the same manner, iron, here we will be seeing iron 2 plus, or this we can write as iron 2. Okay, this is Roman 2. This is for iron we use the term ferrous. Okay, ferrous for the lowest valency of iron, and this is iron 3, which can be written as iron 3 plus. This is ferric. Okay, at last the Ek will be there, as this is the highest valency for that element, and for the lowest valency there will be a last this us will be there, us. Okay, in this manner we are having other elements also which can show variable valency. Lead can show two valency, lead 2 plus and lead 4 plus. This is plumbous, this is plumbic. Okay, the same manner mercury, this is plus 1 and this is plus 2. Okay, silver also can show plus 1 and plus 2 valency in this manner. So up to this today here we are going to finish today's class, and you do this, you go through the study material, and at the same time you revise the previous lessons also. Previous lessons means the unit test portion also, the worksheet which we are giving, that also do you solve properly, then you can get a practice of those chapters. Okay, so till then keep studying. Have a good day. Thank you.